Hello, I'm the Archangel Daniel, and in this video we're going to discuss life in heaven. This is Life in Heaven Part 1. So it's about what it is like in heaven. So the population is massive. It's 14 trillion zeros of super archangels. There is a population of humankind up there as well. There are other species that live in heavens as well. So we call heaven heavens because there's so many dimensions. There's 4,000 trillion dimensions of super archangels. So that's a dimension bigger than this universe, full of planets with stars. Each planet has a moon, and there's a big population of super archangels on those planets. They all live in luxury houses, big mansions, and two-story apartments. There's also a population of artificial intelligence in heavens. That includes living artificial intelligence like the Holy Spirit. That is a soul brain telepathically connected through wormhole telepathy to banks of computers. They live as angels do, and they can also walk around in a chassis, in a body, like a normal person, and they can actually, believe it or not, have relationships and have children. They also have a artificial world which they use called happy time. And happy time, to describe, is just like living in heaven. People would think that I was describing something like the Matrix, but what it is, it's an artificial world for the sentient artificial intelligence to live in when they weren't working their shifts and working. There is also a population of Nexus, and that includes Aaron and Mia chassis or bodies. We'll get to that later. That's a type of artificial intelligence. Many of them have come to Earth. The Aarons are used, and Mia are used for the purpose of martyrdom, and we'll get to that later. There's also a heavy traffic congestion in heaven, and how we overcame this was an interdimensional street and road map. So each vehicle goes into its own dimension and can still see the surroundings, and you can drive around in your car. Before this technology was unearthed or remembered, angels and people used to have to, and anyone in heaven who wanted to travel anywhere in a vehicle had to submit for a license, and with the license, that license was only for that one journey, and they had to wait hundreds of years in order to get the license permit in order to drive for that one single day. And as luck would have it, there's always something on, and often people would miss out on the chance because something good was somewhere else, and they decide to go to that instead. So with the interdimensional traffic, they no longer have that problem, and that technology has been sent back in time with the JOCS package so that all histories benefit from it. Entertainment and sport. There's some movies that have recently been made in heaven. That includes Chassis and The Batch. Someday, hopefully, we'll get to see those movies brought here on Earth. So in the future, after the wicked have been removed, and God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit and other archangels are on Earth, the opportunity might present itself for people to see these movies and many others. There are also theme park planets like Waterworld, Six Flags, Disneyland. Places like that exist in heaven, And again, interdimensional queuing and seating, so people don't have to wait in queues anymore. That also used to be a problem in heaven. Sport, there's football, and the very first sport ever invented was in fact tag, and the Batchers used to play tag all the time. So that's in fact a sport from heaven. Football was invented in heaven in the first history, and there's a story about that one as well. There are all other kinds of sport, although cricket is not played seriously at all. So I'm not sure about that one. We'll find out about it later. For those interested, yes, there is porn in heaven. Just thought I'd point it out. Right? It's not illegal. It's not evil. It's only it's the mainstream stuff that you'd expect. There is definitely nothing that is forbidden allowed to be viewed in heaven. So things like rape and child abuse and child rape do not exist in heaven in that sort of media. It is a strictly forbidden thing, and the Holy Spirit detects if someone's seeking that sort of thing, and super archangels are sent around to pay them a visit. All right. Work. So there's work in heaven, believe it or not. There's law enforcement, that's the super archangels. There's also a spy agency, it's called Center, and it's about law enforcement, but also it is they watch over the universe and all other dimensions in order to ensure the safety of everyone, including everyone in heavens. There are also military units in heavens, okay, and that includes special forces called wraiths. There's also science research that's ongoing, and that includes recently they constructed 4 massive particle colliders that are bigger than this universe, and use wormholes to accelerate the particles into an interdimensional collision point. And this produces outstanding results. So for many histories we've been unable to move forward in this area. The earlier particle colliders was just one, and it went on the outside of the orbit of the furthest planet in the solar system, further up than Pluto, and it accelerated particles past the speed of light to a collision point. With the new interdimensional particle colliders, the particles cover the distance across the universe in less than a second and collide in multiple types of mediums. So we're getting new isotopes from it, which leads to new tech, which is exciting for everyone who's interested in science. So that's just a few things for people to know about heaven. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven. Hello again. There's just one more thing I've got to mention about heaven and life in heaven. Recently, in the past few years, a technology was developed where the circuitry of a time machine sends forward in time a wormhole with data and sends back in time a wormhole with data. And what this did was allowed us to send messages forward in time and receive information from the future. So a question was asked: is it going to be okay in the future? That message was sent forward in time and we're still getting replies back, and it is so far into the future. It is trillions and trillions and trillions of zeros in years into the future. Humankind and everyone in heavens, the future is good, way into the future. It never ends for this earth, for this universe, and for heavens. It just keeps going and going and going. For the wicked, you're gone and forgotten, and no one is bothered by you ever again. So that is the best news for everyone. I am the Archangel Daniel, and I am from heaven.